Welcome, Bankless Nation, to the road to Permissionless. Permissionless, of course, is the biggest DeFi, metaverse, institutional crypto event of the year. It's happening in West Palm Beach, Florida, May 17th to 19th. And the road to Permissionless is these special Bankless episodes, some extra content, where we hype some of the companies and projects that are coming with us to the Permissionless conference. Today on the show, we are talking to Sid Coelho-Prabhu, who's working on the Coinbase Wallet side of things. And wallets, of course, are useful things to have at conferences. So if you are a first-time conference goer, or you have not settled on which is your preferred mobile wallet to take around the world with you, perhaps this one is for you. If you guys are looking for more Bankless content, of course, maybe you should come to Permissionless as well. This is going to be a reunion of all of the hottest Bankless podcasts that you know and love. Chris Dixon has a keynote speech there. Justin Drake is both on a panel that I'm moderating and also moderating and panel in of himself. Cooper Turley is coming, Jay from Rari, Vance Spencer, Carly Rai from Overpriced JPEGs, and of course from the Coinbase side of things, Surochit, the Chief Product Officer at Coinbase, and Sanchin from the NFT platform. All of these content, all these bits of content which you know you want out of what the hell is going on in the black box that is Coinbase. So we try to illuminate that, a little bit of that answer here on today's episode, but also with some of the content going on at Permissionless. If you are a Bankless subscriber, you get 30% off to tickets to Permissionless, which basically pays for a whole entire yearly subscription to Bankless. There is a link in the show notes for you to click if you are a premium subscriber to just go and get that 30% discount for your tickets right now. And guys, I'm looking forward to seeing you at Permissionless. I'm also looking forward to seeing my co-hosts at Permissionless. This is where me and Ryan are going to meet for the first time. And so if you guys are interested in hanging out with me and Ryan, we will be there, as well as many others from around the Web3 ecosystem. Let's go ahead and get right into the show with Sid from Coinbase Wallet. Welcome, Bankless Nation, to this episode of The Road to Permissionless. On today's episode, we're speaking with Sid Coelho-Prabhu from the Coinbase Wallet team. And, you know, wallets are something that everyone needs when they go to conferences because it's how you do your crypto things out and about. And so we're going to talk about Permissionless. We're going to talk about Coinbase Wallet and all of the mountain of stuff that's going on beneath the scene with Coinbase Wallet and how your conference life, your conference experience might be aided by having a nice mobile wallet, like perhaps the one at Coinbase Wallet. So Sid, welcome to the show. Welcome to the road to Permissionless.
Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here and pumped for the conference.
Yeah, no, the conference is going to be great. There's going to be a lot of things to do at the conference. The NFT section of the conference where the people are going to be able to tinker with NFTs and talk to NFT collectors and actually collect some things. Like I said in the intro, would be advantageous to have a mobile wallet. But you know, when people think about Coinbase, they typically think the centralized exchange, right? Like, you know, it's where it's the on-ramps, it's the trading. But one of the most under-discussed things in the Coinbase ecosystem, I think, is the Coinbase Wallet, both which is a mobile app and also a browser extension. So Sid, can you kind of just like illuminate what's been going on behind the scenes on the wallet side of things, the wallet side of Coinbase?
Sure. Yeah, and it's funny, you know, we spend a lot of time on crypto Twitter, right? And I think amongst the early adopters, they all started with the first generation of wallets that were out there, and those are, you know, power user wallets. And you know, I have a lot of appreciation for the work those wallets have done. But we've been actually working quite a bit on the next generation of adopters. And so most people don't know this, but Coinbase Wallet is actually the #1 most downloaded wallet in the US. And I think we have the fastest growing extension now, which we launched recently. So kind of almost under the radar, outside of the core crypto ecosystem, we've been growing and building wallet for quite a while now. And so, yeah, maybe I should tell you about the origin story, because it didn't even start off as Coinbase Wallet.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, I remember it. It was Coinbase Wallet is blue, but it used to be the Toshi Wallet, which was green. I remember using Toshi Wallet before it got acquired by Coinbase. It was one of my first mobile wallets. So yeah, walk us through the genesis. Walk us through the backstory of how Coinbase Wallet came to be and its trajectory and timeline so far.
Yeah, for sure. So you were right. It was Toshi. The funny thing is, it was not an acquisition, and so people often think it was an acquisition. That was a little bit by design, where, you know, think back circa 2017, and it was actually Brian Armstrong's side project. So if you think back to then, you know, he had built what was probably the world's leading centralized exchange, and I think he probably found it a bit limiting, right? So I was also there helping to launch it, and you know, when you work in a centralized exchange, it's like which countries you can operate in, which assets you can support, which users you can offer the product to. All of that, there's a lot of controls and boundaries, and it feels that, you know, we're all crypto nerds at Coinbase, right? Like, we've read the white paper, we believe in economic freedom, and some of this felt kind of against the the spirit and at odds with the spirit of crypto and decentralization. And so simultaneously, also in 2017, I think Ethereum was starting to rise, right? So amongst early adopters, they were starting to play around with Ethereum. And it became apparent to us that the future of crypto might be around like these new permissionless apps. And there weren't any at the point, but you could see how people were building them. And so we started experimenting with it, and we said, hey, we could actually build something that's, like the WeChat super app, right? Where you go there and you can find all these different apps and services. But imagine if you had something like that for crypto. So all these new crypto super apps, not yet built, soon to be built. So we built this product, and we called it something different than Coinbase because we weren't certain about this new ecosystem. And so we branded it completely differently. Then we launched, and coincidentally, the same week that we launched was when CryptoKitties blew up. If you remember, like I think December 2017, and almost took down Ethereum with it because of all the gas prices and everything. And that's when we instantly got that validation, right? I think we were the first wallet to support CryptoKitties on mobile, and that's when we realized, hey, there's actually something here. And so that's it. That was the beginning. That was Toshi. Soon, about a year later,
I do just want to highlight how much it wasn't a consensus bet to bet on permissionless financial applications, because there weren't many at that time. In 2016, 2017, like CryptoKitties was one of the first ones, but like there was no DeFi. We did not have the DeFi word. There was no Uniswap. There was no MakerDAO. And so like staking a bet on a wallet, a browser-like wallet that would exist in your phone that would access some of these not yet built apps was not intuitive at all. And so it was actually like way ahead of its time back in the early days before we get to the point now where like there's many wallets. So, point for Coinbase being way ahead of its time with the whole Coinbase Wallet thing.
Yeah. And, props to Brian for seeing that, right? And especially for someone who had worked on the centralized side, I think he saw those limitations and the opportunity that Ethereum presented at that point in time. And and so then the rest is history. So we've been building this. We like to think of us our role as onboarding the mainstream. And so what Coinbase does best is we really focus on making things simple. We're a brand based on trust. And so we've been working really hard to make your onboarding into Web3 really, really easy. Make it easy for you to fund your wallet, make it easy for you to learn what you can do with Web3. And so as a result of that, we've been pretty happy to see like a lot of success both on mobile and the extension that we launched late last year.
Yeah, and the being able to be free from the shackles of a centralized exchange probably is really, really enticing from both the product standpoint, but also with the users. Before we go into like the properties and characteristics of the Coinbase Wallet, you mentioned it was the most downloaded wallet in all of crypto. How do you think that the Coinbase Wallet has gotten such strong numbers? Do you think it's just like the Coinbase legitimacy and Coinbase trust, or like where do all those downloads come from?
Yeah, so I think so to be clear, we're the most downloaded wallet in the US, and then we've got, I think there's other competitors in the emerging markets that are doing great, and we've got some ground to catch up there. And I think it's a couple of things. I think it's the brand of Coinbase, the trust that people associate with it. B, we have 89 million users on the main Coinbase app that when they're looking to graduate into Web3, their first choice is a Coinbase product. And the third is just the work that I think the product engine design teams have been doing to make the experience like easy and simple, right? So we don't target, at least not so far, we haven't been targeting like hardcore degens. We've been focused on a user that wants to get started in Web3 and make it easy for them to get started.
Yeah, and that is certainly a very, very tall order. I could imagine like getting onboarding people off of a centralized exchange where like they're used to having a custodian, used to just like the normal web email password login, and then getting it into self custody is a bit of a hurdle. So we'll talk about the design decisions that you guys have put into Coinbase Wallet to make this just an easier place for newbies to go. But I also just want to zoom out and just talk about the highest level properties of the Coinbase Wallet, like custodial, non-custodial, DeFi support, NFT support. Like, what are the big overarching characteristics of the Coinbase Wallet?
Yeah, sure. Happy to cover those. So we see ourselves as the gateway to Web3, and the two goals that we have are access to everything that users want and really making it simple. So firstly, one wallet for all your assets, right? So not only do we support Ethereum and all the popular EVM chains, right? So we support Polygon, Avalanche, Optimism, Phantom, Arbitrum. But then there's a difference in terms of how we support it. So if you look at other mainstream wallets, you've got to go and fiddle around with JSON RPCs. You've got to manually add tokens. And we didn't want any of that for our users. So for the top networks, they just work. If you add a Polygon asset or an NFT, it just shows up. You don't have to think twice. So someone who's onboarding onto this next generation blockchain, it'll just work. And it's all a unified balance. So you're not going to some network menu and switching networks and everything. It's just all in one beautiful unified balance. And then going beyond even EVM, we support all the other top chains. So we've supported Bitcoin from very near the beginning. So that's another huge like self-custody ecosystem. And then we're in the process. So we recently added support for Solana, which is another non-EVM chain that's getting quite a bit of popularity. And we're adding support for Solana, dApps, and NFTs and DeFi in the coming months. And so what you have as a user is you want to access Web3. You're kind of like agnostic as to what chain it's on. And we just make that really simple for you. So that's one area we've invested quite a bit in. The rest is in NFTs. So, NFTs are probably one of the most popular use cases in Coinbase Wallet and for most of Web3. And once again, we want to take a slightly different approach. So, most of the wallets out there, they haven't had a chance to really build their own infrastructure. And so they are rate limited by these third-party APIs that they're using. So whichever wallet you're using, often you'll buy an NFT and it doesn't show up for like 30 minutes. And that's because of these dependencies. So we invested in building our own indexer. And now if you buy an NFT, it'll probably just show up in, as soon as the block is processed, a few seconds later, it'll show up. So it's the little things even there with our NFT support. In DeFi's this week, actually, we're pretty excited. In the next week or so, we'll be rolling out support for viewing all your DeFi balances. So we're going to start with Ethereum. And, if you're a DGen and you have balances in Curve and Compound or, any popular protocol out there, it's going to show up. So one kind of master balance across your DeFi, your crypto, your NFTs. We also have seamless on-ramps, right? I mentioned we have 89 million users on Coinbase. If you're a Coinbase user graduating into self-custody and Web3, you can connect your account in like 2 clicks and you can either transfer your assets. And remember, Coinbase has something like $280 billion of assets under custody, or you can buy assets with your connected bank account or credit card. And we make that really simple. And then what else? We've been shipping so much recently. We recently added hardware wallet support if you use Ledger. We have DEX trading on all the popular chains that we support. So yeah, that's just a handful of the different features that we have on Wallet.
Yeah, and this is just such an insanely ambitious project because you got to integrate all of the blockchains. Many are EVM, but many aren't. You got to integrate all of the applications, which each application represents its own beast to tackle. Then there's like the NFT experience, which is cumbersome, which you guys are working on making more seamless in the background, which is its own beast. Then it's self-custody, so there's no third-party custody provider, so you have to manage help people store their private keys. The layer 2 ecosystem is coming. And then Bluetooth with a ledger is also crazy. It has so many moving parts, and it is reminiscent of the super apps of the East more than it is the single use apps of the West. It seems to be just like a one-stop shop for absolutely everything. How big is the Coinbase Wallet team? Because there can't be anyone that's an expert in every single one of these elements, right? How many people are working on the Coinbase Wallet project?
We've grown quite a bit. I remember just about a year ago, we were probably just 10 people. And, as a part of overall at the company, we started to really not only see the action outside that was happening, but also realize that, our mission is to increase economic freedom. And we realized that, hey, there's 2 big parts of this, right? One is that self-custody itself is really important in order to safeguard all of this innovation that's happening, in order to provide access to all the innovation. And apart from just self-custody, in Web3, all of this building is happening out in the ecosystem. And so we realized that, hey, we've got to build these gateways and explore all of this ecosystem. We've grown the team quite a bit. I can't speak to the exact numbers now, but we are hiring. And so, we have a very ambitious roadmap ahead of us, and we're hiring quite a bit. So if anyone is interested, reach out to me on Twitter, or I'll see you at the conference.
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and get right into that. What kind of talent are you really looking for? Because again, there's so many different aspects and angles to Coinbase Wallet. I'm sure you guys are looking for protocol engineers, but also business developers. What talent are you really looking to tap into, and who are you looking to meet at Permissionless?
Yeah, great question. So I would say there's probably three types of folks that we're really excited about, right? So the first is folks that just love to build amazing products, right? I mean, it's the one thing I think if you've used a Coinbase product, I think the one thing that comes away always hopefully is that we invest in making it a delightful experience and making it a simple experience. So anyone who comes even from a non-crypto background, but you just obsess, you want to build great experiences for people, whether it's on as a product manager, an engineer, or a designer. That's one archetype of person that we want to pull in to improve the experience. The second is anyone who wants to build very deeply technical crypto infrastructure. So, I mentioned some of the efforts we've done in terms of building our infrastructure. These are really hard and challenging problems, and the audience for it is millions of Coinbase customers. So if you like really hard technical challenges, reach out to me. And then the third is, like I said, we respect and honor the fact that builders in Web3 are what make this ecosystem great. And we have an obligation at Coinbase to lift up these builders and give them a platform. And so if you like to do partnerships, if you like to do community, you like to do business development, that's another type of person that we'd love to bring on the team.
Fantastic. And so, Sid, question for you. How do you use your Coinbase wallet? Like what do you use it for the most?
So I used to be super into DeFi. Then DeFi 2.0, I got lost a little bit. I was like, okay, this is a little too much even for me, right? And these days I'm really exploring the NFT space. So, buying an NFT, but also trying to explore what's the community that gets built around that NFT, and how can we start to bring some of those community as related features into the wallet? Because you hold your NFTs in the wallet, but why aren't you also able to see and get glimpses of that community that's building up around that project, and not have to go to say a chat forum or Discord, and how can you really like engage with that community and see what other people are doing right from wallet?
And we're seeing other infrastructure also operate on with this as well. Like I think you can do chatting with specific NFT owners through EtherScan and a few other. I think maybe in the Loot or Looks Rare ecosystem as well. But nowhere have I seen a chat function built into a wallet before. Especially with NFTs being so incredibly social. And something that we did see out of Coinbase, Coinbase's NFT platform, is a lot of emphasis on social aspects like followers and chatting. And so, is the social media element of the Coinbase's NFT platform also finding its way into the Coinbase wallet?
Well, it is an area we find fascinating, right? I think, David, you've been around since the beginning. When you created a wallet in the beginning, you got this 40-digit address, right? And that's all you got. You got this number. It's like getting a PO box or something. It meant nothing. There was no human aspect to it. And now we're starting to understand that, hey, people are actually bringing their whole persona. They're crafting online personas. They're interacting with other people with these personas. And what does that look like? And what is this next evolution? So we're looking at these areas. I don't know yet what's going to come out of it, but the idea that we're now forming identities online, I think you're going to see a lot come out from us at Coinbase across the board, not just in wallet. And so I'm excited about that area.
And as we are building out our social lives, a big part of that story is when you go to conferences, at least with our crypto social lives, when you go to conferences, you're going to be bombarded with POAPs. And so I always use my mobile wallets to collect the POAPs because I'm not going to put them on my ledger. I'm not going to carry my ledger around, but I will carry my phone around, of course. And so having a mobile wallet to collect all the POAPs is always just some good alpha for conference goers to have. And so I would expect people to be downloading the Coinbase wallet to collect the POAPs as they go throughout the conference. Are you guys going to have a POAP for visiting the Coinbase booth?
I will check with the team. I hope we do. I personally love to collect those. I remember even going back to ETH Denver 4 years ago and getting the Buffycon. I think that was one of the first ones. And so I'm super excited about that. I hope we do one.
A question for how Coinbase Wallet integrates with the Coinbase browser extension. Are these the same parts of the company, or is this the same project?
Yep, they're the exact same product, just on two different platforms. And so like I said, we spent 3 years building this mobile app. We started to get we got to the point where we were doing really well, number 1, number 2 position. And then we realized that, hey, a lot of our users are on desktop. And taking out your phone to scan the QR code, it's like a little bit clunky, especially if Web3 is everywhere, right? Like you spend half our day like doing some kind of interaction. And so we said, well, what's the state of the art when it comes to the desktop? And really, there were some power user tools that have been around for a long time, but we said, look, we can make it so much better. And so we said, let's do a full redesign of what a browser extension should look like. And we actually shipped that very recently. Many people don't know about this. We only shipped the first version in November, kind of 6 months ago. And what we see now is we see people that are like, hey, let me check this out. It's a Coinbase product. I'm curious about it. And then they plug in their ledger, or they transfer their keys over from another wallet. And then they're like, wait a minute, this is my daily driver now because I love it. It's all the blockchains in one place, the on-ramps from Coinbase, like all the little touches, the NFTs. I think that there's no other mainstream browser extension that has like great NFT support. So we're seeing a lot of people start to adopt the extension now, and this is before I think we have some of our most exciting features are yet to come. So.
And how are you guys doing on the like the integration front? Like there are some applications where you can only access them via MetaMask just because that's like the industry standard, which is frustrating, by the way, because we need more than one way to access DeFi apps. How are you guys working on getting Coinbase Wallet integrated into the DeFi apps where you have to go in order to sign in, you have to sign in with something? How well is Coinbase penetrating into that?
Yeah, great question. And I have to say, we're in a very different place than we were a year ago. And so, we made a couple of great, like we built out our team, we made a couple of great hires, and we're now at a point where on Ethereum, at least, any dApp that you go to that you see an option to connect to MetaMask, you will most likely see now an option to connect to Coinbase Wallet. And that's across the extension, across mobile. In the future, it might be other Coinbase products that can plug in via that Coinbase connectivity option. And now we're reaching out to Solana developers because we're going to be going live in the next couple of months. And we're also, we recently added support for BNB Chain, Optimism, Arbitrum, Polygon, and in all of those ecosystems as well. And when we talk to developers, I think they see this opportunity where it's when a developer acquires a customer, every developer is an entrepreneur. And they're an entrepreneur of a startup that's just gotten started, right? Like most of these dApps, they're 1 year old, 1 month old. They work hard to bring a customer to their doorstep and to acquire that customer. Immediately, they've got to hand that customer over to a wallet. The job that wallet does in onboarding that customer to crypto basically determines the funnel, the conversion funnel for that dApp. And so when we show the developers this experience that we've built with the extension and with the mobile app, and they're like, wait, this customer can install it. They don't have to go to a different exchange anymore. They can just buy crypto in like 10 seconds and get started with my dApp. And by the way, this dApp is going to have like on-ramps into, this wallet has on-ramps into Avalanche, into Polygon coming up in the next month. That's amazing. That does wonders for my conversion. And then the other thing they see is, hey, there's 90 million customers that Coinbase can send my way. And so they love that aspect as well. And so we've seen a huge kind of very rapid adoption as we started to talk to developers about getting integrated.
Nice, wonderful. One question I have about the coming future of crypto is a lot of the people are waiting for L222 to really get started, and with the launch of Optimism's token, people are saying, including myself, that this is underway. And Coinbase's design philosophy of just making a good app that just works and has good UX, but also in a multi-chain ecosystem that probably means abstracting away the bridges. What's the strategy with that? Because bridges are there's a lot of talk about like how secure are bridges, which bridges are the most secure, how do I get from point A to point B? How are you guys thinking about this side of things with the Coinbase wallet, where bridges are complicated, so we definitely need to abstract them, but also we're abstracting away sometimes some risk from some users. It's a very complicated domain. How are you guys thinking about this at Coinbase Wallet?
Yeah, great question. So firstly, I feel the pain, right? Like we see, I can tell you that we see customers that come into Wallet, new to crypto, new to Web3, and like I said, it's our responsibility to onboard them. They see the $50 sticker price for a transaction, and they turn away and they're never coming back, right? They've had a bad experience. Maybe they'll check it out next year. So I think the first intervention that we need to do is just the on-ramp. So imagine if you never have to touch a $50 chain again, and you can just directly go to a roll-up, for example, or like an L2. And sure, the $50 chain is still powering the underlying infrastructure because it's a roll-up, but the onboarding experience for a user is that they never touch that mainframe infrastructure. That's my number one priority. And I think, we've already announced, for example, that we're bringing Polygon on-ramps live, and that should be out shortly. When that happens, David, I think you'll see this effect where everyone can now just onboard into crypto and buy that first NFT or do that first DEX trade, and it costs cents and it took seconds. That's very powerful. The second is, of course, yes, we're in a multi-chain world. I think I had a dream state, I think 2 years ago, that we'd all be on one roll-up, right? And it was a very naive vision, and it would have been great because then there's only one internet. But now we're in a multiverse, whether we like it or not. There's at least 5 competing top solutions. And you're right, so the bridges between them, we're spending some time, and we want to make that a very seamless native experience. And so I hope to have more to share in the coming months.
Lovely. And the whole potential of on-ramps directly onto the layer 2s is something that the whole entire Ethereum ecosystem is very, very excited about. And the potential of just like making very quick bridges from the millions of Coinbase users to L2s gets people really, really excited.
We read the tweets, we know.
Lovely. Sid, you mentioned how you went to ETH Denver 4 years ago, and so that I think that means that you are definitely a conference goer. For people that have not yet been to a crypto conference before, maybe this is their first time going to Permissionless, what advice do you have for the first conference goer? What should people pay attention to? What should people be like, traps that people should avoid? Just any advice for the first timers out there?
Yeah, great question. Oh my God, I still remember my first crypto conference. It was the most amazing experience. I mean, it's really something else. First of all, it's different than any other conference. You go to other conferences and it's all these like booths and it's very formal. And then a crypto conference is so much fun. And, I think for me, the number one is people, right? I feel like I've made some of my most productive relationships and friendships that I've enjoyed in the last 4 or 5 years in crypto at these conferences, right? I think you get to put a face to all the shit posting you see on Twitter, right? And people, you get to make the advice I'd give to people is you probably have something you want to get out of the conference. You're building something and you want funding or you want integrations, or maybe you want a job, or you already have a product and it's a platform and you want to make partnerships. You should go through the list of speakers, of attendees in advance and kind of make that hit list of the people that you want to go and meet and make those encounters happen. Either reach out to them or look for serendipitous encounters. But you get to meet a lot of fun people and so, and build friendships. It's not just business, it's also friendships. So that's one thing. And then the other is ideas. I think crypto is on an innovation frontier. There's a lot of different things happening. At any given point in time, it's nice to be able to go and see where is the pulse of like the smartest people in the industry. Where are they spending their time? What technologies are they excited about? What blockchains are they building on? Who's investing in what sectors? What kind of ideas are getting traction? I think coming away with that industry-wide pulse is very helpful, no matter what you do, whether it's looking for jobs or figuring out where to build your product and which chain to build it on or which game to partner with. I think you get a lot of that, and I think something like Permissionless is perfect for that.
For the people that have not yet had a mobile wallet, what's the pitch for them if they need a mobile wallet and they're walking around permissionless doing their crypto things? Why should they use the Coinbase wallet over any other mobile wallet?
I think if you want a really simple and easy to use wallet that's reliable, it's like battle tested, and also if you're getting those POAPs and you want them to show up very soon, or you're getting like an NFT and you actually want them to show up, I would say go with Coinbase Wallet. And the other thing is if you're on the fence, I think software wallets tend to get a pretty bad rap. Right? Like hardware wallets are the gold standard, and I do believe they are the gold standard for a good reason. But mobile wallets have made a lot of progress, and so we Coinbase Wallet, for example, I can speak for us. We use this secure enclave hardware that's built into your phone, and that's considered fairly, unless someone gets access, even if someone yanks your phone, unless they have access to your biometrics, it's very hard to brute force or get access to those wallets. And sometimes you're at a conference and you have a DeFi position that might get wiped if you don't have access to your funds and you don't want to carry your ledger around with you. And so there are some good reasons if you're being pragmatic, to consider adopting a software wallet. And so, yeah, if you're in the market for one, test drive Coinbase Wallet and let us know what you think.
That's funny if you if you want to be pragmatic by carrying your Coinbase wallet with you so you don't get wiped by your DeFi position. Super pragmatist on one side and then also super risky on the other side, but to each their own. Sid, thank you for joining us on this episode of The Road to Permissionless. Again, for the Bankless listeners who have not yet gotten a ticket, it is May 17th to 19th in West Palm Beach, Florida. Ryan's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Sid's going to be there. A bunch of other people from previous Bankless podcasts are going to be there. It's going to be the reunion of the Bankless podcast, more or less. And premium members, of course, get a 30% discount. There is a link in the show notes. Sid, thank you for coming on and teaching us all about Coinbase Wallet. And I expect to see a lot of Coinbase Wallet users at Permissionless.
Love it. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
See you.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, head over to Bankless HQ right now to develop your crypto investing skills and learn how to free yourself from banks and gain your financial independence. We recommend joining our daily newsletter, podcast, and community as a Bankless Premium subscriber to get the most out of your Bankless experience. You'll get access to our market analysis, our alpha leaks, and exclusive content, and even the Bankless token for airdrops, raffles, and unlocks. If you're interested in crypto, the Bankless community is where you want to be. Click the link in the description to become a Bankless Premium subscriber today. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for in-depth interviews with industry leaders, Ask Me Anythings, and weekly roll-ups where we summarize the week in crypto and other fantastic content. Thanks everyone for watching and being on the journey as we build out the Bankless Nation.